G'day guys, what's cracking? It's Ralph here, and today we're talking about the K21 light stick. It's RGB LED from Weeylite. You've sent me two of these to have a bit of light painting, and what I did is I went out in the field with the Nikon Z9 and I did some light painting with these lights. And if you want to go and see that now and just skip past all of this, just head to that timestamp in the video. Go on. All right, thanks for staying with me, those of you that have. Let me run you through some of the basics of this light. First of all, the light, when you turn it on, you press the power button on the back and it gives you a really even light. So I really enjoyed that evenness of that light, and my eyes have got a bit bonkers too. On the top and the bottom are 1/4 20-inch threads that you can use to mount or use these however you like, but they're also magnetized and they are strong magnets too. Again, that's in the video second part as we get to that. On the back is a set button, so you can set what modes there are. There is a plus and minus to increase or decrease the amount of strength and intensity you want on each of those settings, and then there is a toggle button that you can move between them. There's also a USB-C plug, which is really handy, and it weighs about that. So we have a HSL setting, which you can change the brightness, you can change the hue of the color, and you can change the luminosity, the amount of brightness of that color. So we have red, but it looks like a beautiful pink. It's really fascinating, right? Then we can go set, and that gives us RGBW. And with those functions, by using the toggle button to move between them and the up and down, you can actually change the red, the green, the blue, the white, and the yellow light that is in this to get exactly what you're after. You hit the set button again and you have different scenes. You change the scenes by toggling down to what looks like a cocktail, and you can move across, and it's got tons of different scenes. Everything that you would hope for, like it's got party scenes, it's got lightning and bulbs flickering everywhere, it's got, oh look at that, there's ambulance going on, yep. Police, fire brigade, then we go shift between different colors. We have a lightning storm in there, I think, too. There's a couple of parties, and there's all sorts of different functionality as you get with these sort of lights. It's really cool. And we go set again, and it takes us to the CCT, which is basically your warmth. And so you can choose the brightness, you can choose the Kelvin option, and you can choose how red and green it is. So you get a full use of tint. So you know when you edit photos, and you can choose your white balance, and most of these lights go from really warm to really cold. Well, this also does the tint. Let's just see what it looks like. So let's go tint, and we are going to go to a green tint, and then let's go the other way. Let's go to a pink tint, and you can go 10 either way. Now, here's what's really cool about this light. This light works with your Weeylite Pro app. And so look at this. Ready? Let's just try this. If you can see that, I'm going to go click like this, and then look at this. And it is as easy as just turning the app on. You turn the light on and it all just works. I was like fiddling with the app and the light's changing. I'm like, that's amazing. So well done, Weeylite, for making this light, along with this light that I've previewed before, work with the app. All the Weeylites, they work with the same app, and you can change them to different channels and different frequencies, so you can have them all working at the same time and all working in tandem, or all working together, whatever you like. Maybe tandem means together, all working separately or all working together. And let's get out in the field and give this a real fair dinkum crack and see how it performs under pressure, which actually means see how I perform under pressure, because shooting at night, yeah, it's just, let's get out there. Every year the Swell Sculpture Festival hits the Gold Coast on the Currumbin beachfront, and so I went down at night with my K21 light lamps to see how we could go. And this was the first sculpture I did. I put a light inside it, turned it on to blue, and then I took a light behind it, hid behind it, and then highlighted some of that rat's sign to make it really pop. And this is how we went. The intensity was full on both, and I was pretty pleased with the result. Next to that was this kind of interesting sheets opportunity. There were these sheets that were just flapping around in the breeze, and so I turned both lights on. I hid one in the pocket of my hoodie, and I then interchanged the lights as I quickly and swiftly ran between the sheets. The Z9 was on a long exposure as I did this, probably 240 seconds, I think, to ensure that I could adequately and comfortably move between. Obviously, when you shoot on that sort of exposure, exposure you need to dampen the light coming in on your ISO, and on you just turn your aperture right up, which I needed to do in order to get everything sort of in the background in focus. But this is the result of that shoot. Then I had this really interesting moment where I realized the battery on my Nikon Z9 was actually bright red and flashing. I'm like, no, I've got this whole video planned. Anyway, it turns out that I could do this entire video and some more with a battery. This is talking about long exposure with a battery on red. So if the Z9's battery on red feels like the equivalent to the Z6's full battery. It's really, really impressive. So this one you can't really see very well, but it was a host of strings that went above our head. So I used the lights to sort of highlight these streams, and I try and do it evenly by moving the light at an even speed across that which I'm shooting, and to light all of that which I'm shooting, because when you do light painting, if you don't light it, it doesn't come up, and if you spend too long with the light intensity in one part, it blows it out and the rest is in shadows. So I was pretty pleased with how this shot came out. Then they had this fascinating milk crate sculpture where I took a couple of the lights and I positioned them at different parts of the framing, and then I went and took a photo, and then I came back and I moved them, and I went and took a photo, and I came back and I moved them, and I went and took a photo, and then I layered them all together to form this shot. And the final step to this, once that was all lit, is to dash between the camera and the sculpture with a light on to ensure that the front of it got some light, nice yellow light. We could actually see what the sculpture was. Then we had this fascinating man. He's made of metal, and what I did was I wanted to highlight with different lights the different angles and shapes on him. And so as I angled and shaped those things, I would go around him and then I'd have a look at the preview, and sometimes the preview was blown out, sometimes I spent too long, sometimes I'd been in the way, so it was a little bit of mucking about and to and fro, trying to get the lighting correct on this. But the K21 offers such a great degree of intensity of light, as well as brightness, as well as degrees of light, that I could experiment to my heart's content to make sure that I got what I wanted in the end. And I was trying to highlight it against some of those yellow street lights that you can see in the background. So pretty pleased with this result too. And this was one of the trickiest of the lot. My idea was to highlight the bottom red and the top green, or the top green and the bottom red, and I wanted to do it at the same time. You can't do it at the same time because the way light diffuses means it wasn't a bright red on top and a bright green on bottom. It was a mixture of the two. And so what I did is I shot one with one light, and then I just put it down and I shot the other with the other light that I had, the other K21 that I had. And I needed to do that because I needed the same light intensities and same light colors in case I needed to do it again. Now you can do that by just remembering what setting of color degree you have. So you might choose a 36 color degree and 129 color degree, and if you remember those numbers, you can reciprocate, you can reproduce exactly the same color light again. What I found I loved with the wands is you have a much more even light dispersal over a longer space in your hand, which just enabled a shot like this to be able to be pulled off in the end. And this was fascinating. This took ages, this shot, because I wanted to sort of accentuate the sea feeling that was already there, but also add some of my own sort of creativity with the lights. And so you're guessing at where the lights should go and how you should actually light this thing. And so guess I did. I changed a lot of the colors. I used both my lights. I turned them away from the camera and hid them behind my body when I needed to move, so you didn't see the light moving between the two. I used some of them to highlight and accentuate some of these structures, but also I spent a little bit longer as I moved it up in the air to demonstrate some tentacles or seaweed or that sort of thing. Anyway, I just going for full color, accentuating the color that was already there, and adding my own. And I chose colors that I thought would be complementary to the colors already there, but also would be good contrasted against each other and feeling like they're all part of the same scene. Then we had this this funny squiggly thing. I thought, oh, let's go to town on this. Let's just do some rainbow stripes behind it. And so I did those rainbow stripes behind it. I had to have a couple of runs at it because the rainbow stripes with the light just facing the camera, whilst the intensity wasn't too bright, I turned the intensity down, but I needed to make sure they were close together. So we did all of that, and then I wanted to light it from the front. So I did quick light from the front, which enabled the whole thing to really pop against the rainbow background. Then there's this man holding this giant ball, and so I used the magnets that are in the actual lamp, and it's made of steel, so I hid one of the lights in the actual globe, and I experimented with the different colors that would work based against the contrast of what color I wanted him. And then I thought, let's actually light him so his heart's like a red, his body's sort of a yellow, and I went back and forward on this and really played with the different colors and the different intensities. There was other color lights that were projected against this, so I had to allow for that in my choice of colors, but in the end it came up pretty good. You can see me just highlighting there, and this was the end result of that. I think one of the limitations of these lights is it takes a couple of seconds to turn on. I wish it would just turn on a little bit quicker. The magnets are amazing, but the magnets are only here. It would be good if they just shaped all the way around, because sometimes you want to actually position your light like so. And some lights have a way of, you have a connector, so you can pull this off and attach another one to it. I feel like they've missed a trick there. You actually need another male-to-male quarter 20 to connect this to another light, whereas it would be just great if you could unscrew this and straight it on. You had like a light beam, and you could make 15 of them and be like... Maybe not. If you watch this far, you are a dead set legend. I appreciate you, and that you would support this channel the way it is. We've just clicked over 5,000 subscribers, and I'm stoked that you're one of them. And if you're not, you can be right now. Just head down and click that subscribe button. If it doesn't work out for us, like if the relationship doesn't work out, just end relationship by unsubscribing. But those of you that are keen, I am much appreciable, and you can join the channel too. There's a join button down there, and of course the thumbs up means a great deal to me and costs you nothing. Thanks so much, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video. And thank you, Weeylite, for sending this to me. You can get yours, link in the description below. Get into it, folks. Good gear. G'day guys, what's cracking? It's Ralph here.